We're joined by Pierce Grieve, winner of the 105th CDGA Amateur Championship at Briarwood Country Club. Pierce, it's your second piece of significant amateur hardware in the last year. What are your emotions at this point?
I mean, it feels great. I feel like this and the State Am are kind of the two majors of Illinois golf. So to get both those trophies and put my name on both of them is super special. Not only that, to do it within maybe 10, 11 months is even cooler. So I think it kind of speaks on just where my game's at and yeah.
You're only the 12th person all time to accomplish the feat of winning both, and the first since the legendary amateur Joel Hirsch, who did it in the late 1980s. So what does that historic accomplishment mean to you?
That's super cool. To add my name to a list like that is really special. I didn't know that there are only 12 other people that have done that, so I think that definitely makes this win a little bit sweeter. So.
You were tied, or in the case of the championship match, trailing halfway through every one of your matches this week.
Yeah.
What about your mindset in your game allowed you to kind of flip a switch and close out your 4 matches throughout the week?
Yeah, I think that's just kind of golf. Like, you're never really comfortable out there. You can tell yourself you are, but you're not necessarily going to be always in control. So I might have been trailing a little bit, but if anything, that just gave me a little bit more of an edge and kind of added to that competitiveness that I've got inside me. So there were times where I felt backed into a corner. Even sitting at lunch today, 2 down, didn't feel very good. I thought I was hitting it well, but just kind of gave it that hard edge and got after it this afternoon.
Yeah, building off that, as you alluded to, 2 down through the first 18 holes, sitting there through lunch. What is your mindset, and then how were you able to come out and erase the deficit so quickly by winning the first 2 holes?
Well, I mean, first of all, lunch was great. So that definitely put a little bit more of a smile on my face. And then just really stuck to my process. Kind of the same thing I touched on yesterday, trying to be the longer hitter in the group just so I could play second. And I hit 2 good tee balls on 1 and 2, watched where my opponent was hitting it and just kind of played accordingly. Was able to escape with a couple wins on 1 and 2 and make a nice putt to have 3, and it was off to the races from there.
So what was for lunch then?
I got the grilled chicken sandwich with avocado. It was unbelievable. The bread was grilled. It made it, I could eat another right now.
At this level, so often it comes down to whether or not the putts fall. And for you, they certainly were, especially on the front 9 of the second 18. Take us through the long ones that you made for birdie on 4 and then 6.
Yeah, so the putt I made on 4, I hit it in a very similar spot this morning. And this morning I hit a really good putt, and I turned to my caddy, Will, and I was like, if I hit that a little softer, that's in. And then I hit it pretty much in the same spot today. And Will and I were walking up, and I was like, a little bit softer pace, and this thing's bottoms up. So kind of executed that and felt good to see that one curl in. And then just a couple holes later on 6, that was not one I was expecting to make. Hit it in the left rough, ball was sitting down, was just praying to get it on the green. And we were kind of back and forth on the read, but trusted Will's line and hooped it. So.
Those 2 were part of a 3 birdie and 4 hole stretch on numbers 4 through 7 that made the match go from tied to putting you 2 up. How pivotal was that sequence that led to your eventual triumph?
That was massive. I don't think I'd have had really a 2-up lead until I got to 14 or 15 at all this week. So to be on the front 9, which is a 9 I struggled with this week, and holding the lead felt good just because I knew there were par 5s I could get after on the back and drivable par 4. And just a lot of holes that suit my eye. So, yeah.
Speaking of that drivable par 4, kind of a love-hate relationship with it today.
Yeah.
You know, the first 18, you hit it out of bounds twice. The second 18, you put it up on the front of the green and you 2-putt for birdie to really, all but kind of clinch the match. So take us through that hole.
Yeah, match play is kind of feast or famine. If you're going to lose a hole, you might as well lose it by a lot. So if I've got a drivable par 4 like that with my length, I might as well take advantage of it. In the 3 matches before today, I'd put it on the green. So that was just kind of my game plan. And obviously with shot dispersion, you're going to have one that doesn't go so well, or maybe 2. But I'm happy I could hit a good one this afternoon. And, it was kind of a hard putt, but gave it some good pace, and then made the little tester coming back. So. And
then you clinched the match by hitting it to, within a foot on the par 3 15th. Take us through that hole. What are your emotions as you finish things off, as you're watching that ball fly through the air? What was that hole like?
It's kind of weird because in match play, you always envision yourself making a putt to win a match, whereas it finished on a par 3. I hit one to maybe 6 inches or so, and just kind of, it was conceded from there. So I was just kind of waiting to see if my opponent made or missed, and the thought of, am I hitting 3-wood or hybrid on the next hole was kind of in my mind. But yeah, no, that was a cool walk-off for sure.
With the State Am being stroke play, this event being match play, how does your strategy and approach vary based on the format, and how significant is it that you're able to excel at both formats?
So, I mean, it's all golf in a sense. I think match play is a little more, like I said a minute ago, feast or famine. You can just go out and try to make birdies, and if you make a double or a triple, you're just losing the hole. Whereas, like at the State Am last year, it's just consciously trying to put the golf ball in good spots to make pars, center the green, not really short-siding yourself, and trying to avoid trouble a little bit. Whereas today, it's easy to take on the trouble because if you hit it in it, just walk to the next tee and try to get it back. So, yeah.
And then lastly, what's in store for you here moving forward?
I think professional golf is on the horizon for me. Not sure when that'll be, but definitely in the near future. Regardless, I'm happy to see my amateur career close with the state amateur victory and the CDGA amateur victory.